Hello and welcome to Queer at Last. I'm Harriet, your friendly local classicist and museum person.
And I'm Catherine, and I'm not those things.
Each episode we'll be talking about a different museum artefact to uncover the stories of queer life and love that surround it.
If you'd like to see the artefact we're looking at today with your own eyes, then you can have a look at our Instagram. It's queer_at_last. And as ever, all of our content warnings can be found in our descriptions.
Today, Catherine, we are talking about Eleanor Rykener, a trans woman who worked as an embroiderer, a barmaid, and a sex worker, and who lived in medieval England, which is pretty fucking cool.
Medieval? What? Sorry, I'm bad. I'm bad at history bad. What's medieval count as? Like, what date is medieval?
The 1300s. Well, that's a broad question, but she lived in the 1300s in England.
There was a trans person in the 1300s that we have records of?
And what is really
cool
is that we know about her through her own account of herself.
Was it in code?
It wasn't in code. It wasn't in code.
Oh, then I simply don't care. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, it's sort of as close as we could get. It's filtered through the legal system, but it is her own account of herself, which is really, really cool and powerful.
Amazing. And has lasted from the 13th century?
Yep, 14th century, yep.
Wait, you said... Oh, it's one after, isn't it?
Yeah, it's one. Yeah, Catherine, it gets me every time. It gets me every time. I have to specifically write out each time so that I don't say the wrong thing. So 1300s is the 14th century. Don't say we never teach you anything useful on this podcast. Okay.
And the artifact you sent me a picture of, there's about 4 pixels to it, Harriet. I can't see it very well.
That's okay. That's okay.
This won't go well on the Instagram.
It's just describe what you can see, please.
I can see a blurry. No, it's like an aged page. You know, the type of thing that, like, if you were making it in school, it would look like you put coffee on it. And it's writing. I don't know if I could understand if I could see it.
No, you. It's in Latin.
Oh, is it?
So, I mean, I guess maybe you.
I guess I could have understood it if I could read it, Harriet, because as we've established, I know Latin.
I'm sorry, I forgot who I was speaking to.
Yes, it's just like a writing on a page.
So this is a medieval manuscript from 1395. It's currently held in the London Archives, and this section it's part of a plea and memoranda roll. It's a legal document, and this is an account of Eleanor's arrest, which happened in London in December 1394. So the only record that we have of her is this document, which is her having been arrested for sleeping with a man for money whilst dressed as a woman.
Ooh.
And so this is the only evidence we have of her life. So it is filtered through someone recording her words. So
in Latin?
Yes, in Latin.
Did the police reports used to be in Latin?
Honestly, now that you've mentioned that does seem absolutely wild. But
no, I do remember people saying when in the spiel they give you when you decide whether or not to learn Latin, they were like, it used to be you needed it to do law because it was all in Latin, and I never really processed that, I suppose, until now. Like, why on earth would you speak in Latin?
Yeah, I guess it was just a kind of a prestige thing, I guess, like the language of. I'm not sure. I'm thinking of what my wife is going to say when she hears this, and she's like, "You fucked up talking about Latin so badly." So I'm just gonna
you're
nope
for
out of
it,
this.
Has. You're gonna get it as soon as they hear this.
I was like, as I was talking, I was like, "Oh, I'm doing a bad job of this. Oh, they're gonna be mad." This document is in Latin. It was actually on display in the British Library exhibition Medieval Women in Their Own Words, which was running earlier this year, and I went to see it with my wife, and it was a really, really good exhibition. It's closed now, but it was very fascinating, and like the title suggests, it was looking at the lives of medieval women through their own words and their own accounts as far as possible. So it was very, very interesting having that as a kind of lens to choose what they displayed and things like that. So I saw this manuscript in real life, which was pretty cool. It just felt amazing, and I didn't know about her until this, and then I just read the label like la la la, and then was like, excuse me.
So sorry, just to check I understand.
Yes.
This woman was arrested for like sex work, and this is like the court records of that arrest written in Latin.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Like I said, we don't know anything about her early life at all because the only record we have is this document. But we do know that she was assigned male at birth and that she was given the name John, which is what this document uses to refer to her as. And the document also misgenders her as well, sort of as we might expect from the time and the context.
Yeah.
So just to give a heads up, anyone looking at this, I will put a link to the transcript of it in the episode notes and on our social media.
Lord knows I'll need it. There's 2 pixels in this picture.
Unbelievable. I
cannot see a word.
I'm sorry I don't have high quality access to the London archive images. No, you're right. I should do better.
What
Catherine.
are we going to put on Instagram, Harriet? How are we going to do this?
The magic of editing, I guess.
I can't edit more
it.
pixels into
this. Just you wait. Anyone listening, go to the Instagram right now and just see what an incredible job I've done at sharing this in a beautiful, accessible manner.
I'm going to write over it in JS Paint.
Yeah, it's just me. It's like a piece of paper that I've coffee stained and then painstakingly written out.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, boy. So, like you said, it is a court record, and it's interesting that this is the only record we have of her, and this is something that happens a lot when you're looking at LGBTQ plus history, is that it is filtered through criminal records a lot of the time.
Right, because their very existence is criminalised.
Exactly. And it's also specifically sUK at least, which is what I know the most about researching, working class sort of lives and stories are often the only way that they have been preserved is through criminal records, as opposed to people like Oscar Wilde or politicians who were LGBT. We tend to have a bit more of their own words, but there are a lot of people that we know were queer, but we only know that through accounts of their like arrest and mistreatment. It's a very hard balance. There was a project done by the Berkshire Record Office, I think it was, that looked at this whole question of looking at queer stories through criminal records, and it kind of set out a bit of a methodology for doing it, which is really interesting, and I'll also include a link to that. So if you're interested in queer history and the ways that you have to work around it, it's quite good to check it out. But just to say at the beginning, as much as this is her own words in scare quotes, obviously it is filtered through the prejudices of the time, and it is a court record, so it comes from a traumatic context.
Yeah.
So this was it was only in 1995 that some scholars sort of picked up on what this was actually recording, because before that there was summaries had been made of these documents, and it was described as an examination of 2 men charged with immorality in like the early 1900s in a summary. So the person who first sort of documented this for archives and for research ignored any kind of gender implications of it and just basically wrote that out of the record. So it wasn't until the late 1990s that people actually had a look at it again and were like, oh wait, this shows much more than 2 men arrested for sodomy. The other thing to say is, I described her as a trans woman because from the evidence that we have, I think that is a fair interpretation, but obviously like she wouldn't have used that to describe herself, and like I keep saying, we only have this snapshot, but there are a couple of things from it that we can use to suggest how she thought about herself. So during the court, in the courtroom, she appeared dressed as a woman, and she referred to herself as Eleanor throughout.
Right, that seems pretty clear to me.
Yeah, exactly. And she tells the court that someone called Elizabeth Brouderer was the one who first dressed her as a woman, called her Eleanor, and like taught her how to embroider, and that another sex worker called Anna was the one who taught her how to have sex like a woman, in scare quotes. So this is also really interesting. Again, you can't extrapolate too much from it, but I quite like the idea of it being 2 women, presumably cis women, who sort of helped her transition, as it were.
Like took her under their wing.
Yeah, exactly. Sort of helped her dress and act and go through life the way that she wanted to, possibly. It could also be that it was just straightforward. Elizabeth was like pimping her out, basically. So it's hard to say. There are definitely themes of like women, like the solidarity between women at the time, like, and all we can get is glimpses because we don't have any records of. I don't know that Eleanor would have been literate. I would assume not, possibly.
Yeah.
So the only snapshot we can get is this, and it's a really tantalising snapshot of it.
So it contains her speaking aloud in court. These records.
Yes. Yeah. So it's her explaining. So she kind of got brought in on this charge, and then it's her giving an account of herself and explaining how she ended up where she was. She goes into quite a lot of detail, actually. She gives like a detailed list of people that she's slept with. Not clear if it's like for money or not for money. Definitely sometimes for money.
Yeah. But
she doesn't necessarily make it that obvious. But are you ready for this, Catherine? Are you ready for this list?
Go on. Yep, ready.
So she... In the village of Thaden-Garnon, which is a village in Essex, she slept with a rector, like a religious figure, and she apparently stole 2 gowns from him as well. And then when he kind of was like, give me back my gowns, she was like, no, I have a wealthy husband, and if you try and get them back, he will denounce in front of everyone that you slept with a prostitute. So she got to keep these
Go
gowns.
off, Queen.
I know. In Oxford, she had sex with 3 scholars, presumably not once, but who can say?
Who can say?
In Burford, she slept with 2 Franciscans, a Carmelite, and 6 foreign men for a gold ring, 12 pence, 20 pence, and 2 shillings. So Carmelites and Franciscans.
Why is she snitching on herself this much? Is it just like
they're demanding, like, because she got caught and they were like, explain sort of like, give an account of yourself and your past sort of crimes, again in scare quotes. And so she was like, yeah, all right, I'll tell you. So she's just telling
you know
them.
what, fine. You want the truth, you can't handle the truth.
She names quite a lot of them as well. She just fully like Sir, and quite a few of them are like Sir John Britby or whatever. So she's just fully like, right,
damn.
You know what? Yep. It's incredible.
It's not going to do her business any good if she's kissing and telling this much.
Yeah, this is true. That's a good point. Worth noting that a Carmelite and a Franciscan are both like orders in the Catholic Church. So there's a bit of a theme going on. And she says later on, she slept with a lot of priests. She doesn't remember. She explicitly said she doesn't know how many priests she slept with.
Can't count. You lost count of them.
Yep. But she also describes how she had sex with a woman called Joan Matthew. And she says she often had sex with nuns and women, like both women who were married and weren't married.
Uh-huh.
And it's interesting, in the account, it says that she often had sex with nuns as a man, and then like when it's talking about her like with priests as a woman. So the account sort of heterosexualizes it, basically. Makes it out that it's always been like a man and a woman, but it's unclear. But it's basically unclear. It's all very unclear. So she slept with men and she slept with women, and it could be that she presented different ways when she slept with them, but it's also not clear at all that was the case.
Yes, yeah.
It's really interesting. And people have sort of talked a lot about it, and scholars have talked a lot about it, but at the end of the day, there's no way for us to tell, because it's such an isolated flash in the dark and then gone.
What a crazy sort of like snapshot to get of someone. This is what history has got of this person, and you just have to glean all you can from it. Yeah.
And she also, like, talk about her identity. When she was in Oxford, when she worked as an embroideress there, she explicitly was like, she worked there as Eleanor, presenting as a woman. So this is like yet more evidence that she presented as a woman in daily life, rather than for example when sleeping with people. So all of the glimpses that we have from this suggest that this is something that she embodied in her daily life and that she identified with strongly.
Was the crime that she got for sleeping with people, or was it sleeping with people dressed as a woman, or both?
So interesting. That's an interesting question, which has been a bit of a topic of debate. So the account starts by saying that Eleanor admitted, and this is in quotes, committing that detestable, unmentionable, and ignominious vice in women's clothing for money. So that seems to be referencing sodomy, because like the court would take it, if they were gendering her as a man, as an instance of sodomy, because it was her sleeping with another man, which was a more serious crime than prostitution.
I see.
It isn't 100% clear, because there's also, I think sodomy wouldn't normally go through this kind of court. It's quite often like a morality issue. So the church would maybe be involved, from what I understand.
Right. Bet the church are keeping away from this one, judging by how many priests she slept with.
Yeah, the church are like, right, do we have anyone who can... Yeah, no. Yeah, it would have worked out well for her maybe if she was tried by them and just like, oh, hi again. And the other thing is, we don't know like what her sentence was, or what she was charged with, or if she was charged. It's interesting whether it is the sort of dressing as a woman part, or the sodomy part, or the prostitution. It's all kind of rolls itself into one, but it is the sodomy and the cross-dressing that would have been more, serious is maybe the wrong word, but that would have been more kind of unacceptable at the time.
Right.
We don't know if she went to prison or not. One person has found a record of someone called John Rykener being imprisoned and then escaping from prison. So there is a very faint possibility that was her, but that is not, I don't think it's really substantiated enough for us to be able to tell. But I do just like this glimpse of, we don't know if she was sentenced at all. She might not have been. And if she did, that she was like immediately out of there.
I like that. I like that story. I'd like to just have that. That's what I want to believe. A jailbreaking woman.
Yeah, just sleeping with everyone, just fully being like, yeah, okay, settle down, I'll tell you. Yeah, and also the fact that, because she was obviously deciding what parts to talk about, and it could be that she spoke about more and that wasn't recorded in this document, which is another possibility, but I think that's even more interesting. A, like you said, that she did go into the details, the juicy details, and B, that she did mention her kind of like the women who had helped her sort of on this path, which again sort of suggests that it was an important, it was important to her, an important part of her journey.
That was snitching on them too.
Well, yeah, this is true, because she does name them, actually, so yeah.
I know, I like the other thought of it, though.
Yeah, thanks, Catherine. Just ruined my, beautiful story of solidarity. There was also a weird bit, so this woman who, taught her how to embroider and who sort of owned the house that she was in, it says that she would send her daughter, so at night, she would send her daughter into Eleanor's room to, sleep with a man, instead of Eleanor or something, and then in the morning they would present the men with Eleanor and be like, this is who you slept with, which is not it's not clear what's going on there. it's so unclear.
I don't understand the logistics of that. What do you mean?
So basically they do a swap where instead of clients sleeping with Eleanor, they instead sleep with the proprietor's daughter, who and then but then they pretend that it was Eleanor that they slept with. So it's not clear if this is a blackmail situation. It could be that they are kind of oh, you thought you slept with a woman, you actually slept with a man.
Okay, I see.
It's not. I don't really understand. And I couldn't really find. I don't think anyone has a particularly oh yeah, this is what that means.
Man, this must be such a frustrating part of being historians, not ever being able to get confirmation 100% on what happened and the context and the results, the conclusions of these stories. Yeah, it's just so imagine if we could actually go back and just know, and there are so many people that we just don't know what happened to them. To appear in court sort of in women's clothes and using that name is such a ballsy thing to have done. Yeah.
That it suggests that this is something that they very strongly identified with. And yeah, I just thought, what with the world being as it is at the moment in the UK specifically, which is very, very shit for trans people, I was I just thought this was a really nice evidence of the fact that trans women have always existed and will always exist. And also that this kind of hint of solidarity between women as well, obviously was at the moment is very important. And yeah, I just felt very emotional about it all.
Yeah. Oh, what an amazing story.
Yeah.
Pretty iconic.
Yeah, just and I just love like you say, we have such a small, like such a little tiny glimpse into her life, and she was determined to be like, I slept with priests, I slept with nuns, I slept with this guy specifically.
Yeah. I love the idea of a snapshot. God, it's the absolute opposite of what would be the case these days. Like, every little scrap of your life has a digital footprint, and
yeah, that's true.
But it's kind of just a bit beautiful to think about if that weren't the case and you were to just live your life without any sort of footprint leaving behind other than the way you live your life, like. And you could choose if you could choose a, day long snapshot to be ingrained forever in history. I just wonder which day of my life I would choose, and I just feel a certain sense of gratitude that this is the bit of this person's life that was found, one that seems to show them at their truest self. Yeah, absolutely laying into every fucking priest in the land. And given receipts for the ages.
Time-stamped receipts, like so specific. It's like in Beaconsfield, in Burford, like at the Swan Inn, like just really.
Yeah, if I'm going down, everyone was going down with me.
Yes. Exactly. So yeah, this is a bit of a shorter one, because it's much more focused around one artifact and what that tells us about the past and what we can sort of extrapolate from that about the past.
By its nature, it had to be a shorter one. We don't have much on this person, but what we do, I think, tells a strong tale.
Yes.
Okay, so it's limerick time for me. I'm going to write a limerick about this legend. While I'm doing that, I'm going to pass over to Past Us. Hello, dear listeners. It's Catherine and Harriet from the past here, and we need your help.
So every episode we start with a queer artifact that we use as a jumping off point to talk about LGBTQ plus history, and we're always looking for more. This is where we need you. Do you have a queer historical object that you want more people to know about?
It could be something you've seen in a museum, something you've read about, or it can be even a more recent artifact, something that maybe is in your family, something that is important to you that has a story behind it that you would like to share. For example, I don't know, you could have had a cool gay uncle who did some cool shit and you have their watch and you want to share it.
So head over to our fancy new website, queeratlast.com, and you can submit the story and the artifact using our online form, or get to us on any of our social media platforms.
Your artifacts have a chance at being shared on our website and our social media, and even in future episodes, with a shout out if that's something you're comfortable with. We're going to call this whole project the Queer Collection. Get involved, we'd love to hear from you.
Now, back to Catherine, deep in the limerick mines.
Okay, I think I got it.
Okay, I'm so ready, Catherine.
Okay, here I go. Eleanor welcomed all in her sheets, Franciscans, Carmelites, men, women and priests. She was truly not the sort to waste her day in court. She made her money and then she brought the receipts.
Nice, I love that. Good job getting Carmelites and Franciscan in there as well. They said it couldn't be done.
They said it couldn't be done.
Amazing. Well, thank you for letting me chat to you about this very cool medieval woman.
Yeah, no, an icon through the ages. End call!
End call!
Thank you so much for listening to Queer at Last. For more queer history goodness, be sure to follow us at Queer at Last on Tumblr and Blue Sky, and queer_at_last on Instagram. If you've enjoyed this episode, it would mean the world to us if you could share it with your pals, and make sure to like and subscribe on your favourite podcast app. Queer at Last was made by Catherine and Harriet, and our wonderful logo is by Vincent Aynard. The music is Getting It Done by Kevin MacLeod. I'm recording now. 2, 1,
2,
3,
4,
5,
9.
You piece of shit.
You'll never get me, Catherine.
We live in a society.
I'll never
what the
comply.
Fuck do you think you're doing?
I'm Snufkin, baby. I'm a free agent.